Oh my God.
Okay,
How many whiskeys have I had? Okay.
I'm Rick Dalton. It's my pleasure.
I love that stuff, you know, the killing.
A lot of killing.
Seems this world got you down. You're feeling bad vibrations.
Are you an actor?
No, I'm a stuntman. LYNN?
Where there ain't no trees.
Charlie's gonna dig you.
And that gospel group telling you and me.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Film Flashback. This time, in honor of Quentin Tarantino's new film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, we decided to go back and watch 1993's True Romance. So we are joined today by our lovely director friend, Nell, and we're going to discuss this incredible film, which was not Tarantino's first directing movie, but he did write the script. It looks like a Tarantino film, even though he didn't direct it, in my opinion.
One of the things I read about this movie is that it exists even though he didn't direct it, it is in the Tarantino universe, and it certainly has that feel.
Yeah, you're even seeing some, like in certain cases with people like Chris Penn and with people like Samuel L. Jackson, actors that were going to end up being in Tarantino movies later. There are some small references that Tarantino nerds pick out, like the fact that in Reservoir Dogs they mention, I think it was Mr. Blonde mentions that he's worked in the past with someone named Alabama.
And then you think about like the cast of characters, and you think about the language, of course, that we love from Tarantino, and all of the monologuing that happens, and you know.
She seems very nice.
Nice? Daddy, nice ain't the word. I mean, this girl, she's a peach, you know? And she even tastes like a peach.
Yeah, when I think of a Tarantino film, for me, it's very character driven.
Yeah.
I think one thing when you talk about great characters, first of all, you have great actors.
Yes.
I mean, Christopher Walken's in there for one scene, and he's fantastic. There's a lot. Samuel L. Jackson has 5 lines, and it's great.
I was really curious about Samuel L. Jackson's curse words to screen time ratio in this.
Yeah, motherfucker, I ate everything. I ate the I ate the butt. I ate every motherfucking thing.
Yeah. That was one of the few scenes that there was no improvisation at all.
Right.
You know, that it was written that way.
Well, I would
correct.
argue that it doesn't, the way that it's shot is very different, I think, than the way Tarantino, like in terms of the frames and everything that we see. What we see in this are the characters that Tarantino always creates for us, which are incredibly flawed and awful.
Don't give me the finger! I'll f***ing have you killed!
The sympathetic criminal.
Even for bad guys, you're like,
Yeah,
these
you're
guys
like, oh.
are naughty.
You must have thought it was White Boy Day. Huh? It ain't White Boy Day, is it?
Oh man, it ain't White Boy Day.
But I would say that the way that it's shot, certainly the stuff down like the train tracks and all of that, I mean, they're sort of more sweeping in its style, as opposed to something that we love with Tarantino, which is very like aggressive, head on. This, we kind of got to watch a little bit more.
Yeah.
Certainly that scene we were talking about, like the love scene, Tony Scott sort of brings the camera in so close and so intimately, and Patricia Arquette is absolutely
So he just,
amazing
in that
this
moment,
film.
he just lets Patricia Arquette take over. It's a kiss moment
Yeah.
without a kiss.
Yeah.
And she's doing all this acting. And then, like you pointed out, the framing, that was really fascinating because he's not quite in the frame exactly. You just see her
just
eyes
his lips.
and then what he's looking at.
Yeah.
She's
all she wants to do is
taking
kiss him. And
But
it's so
the icing
great.
on the cake to me for that was the tin drum in the background, the steel drum.
The score is very interesting.
It's weird. It's very off.
Could the guy playing the steel drum
Yeah, man!
now get the off? We're trying to have a moment.
Hey, you're shooting the movie, yeah!
That's Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer decided, for whatever reason, I would be fascinated. Maybe it's because they end up somewhere tropical or something like that.
You know,
And
when
it's
you
strange
wait,
moments.
do you know what you're saying now is making me think that, yeah, it's like the possibility of vacation.
It's why they're
Of
doing
like
foreshadowing
getting
a little bit.
away.
Yeah.
Really go for that steel drum.
Something crossed my mind about the way the story is told. It feels like a video game. It's like, okay, you have this thing. Now here's a bot. Now you have to, there's just challenge. It's just building challenges. Oh, she's a prostitute. Okay, great. Not a big deal. But she also has a pimp who has a shotgun who we just saw kill 3 people. Great. Well, that's not so bad. He can overcome that. But wait, he's going to leave his ID, which other gang members, like, it just keeps compounding and compounding. And
so something fascinating about this movie is how quickly we roll through plot points. They tear through whole characters. We were talking about actors that are famous, talented actors that are on screen for 1 scene, 3 scenes, and then they're gone. Gary Oldman's character, he's like a white guy with dreads putting on this weird affectation and pretending to be like African American or something. And that's this part he plays, which he says is one of his favorite roles he's ever done.
Yeah. And then, now he's Winston Churchill.
Well, look how many Academy Award winners or nominees are in this movie. You know, you give them like a little piece and look what they do with it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, that scene between Gandolfini and Brad Pitt.
Classic.
Wow.
That's probably the only time they had like a one-on-one scene in their career.
No, the Mexican.
Oh, good call.
Wow.
You seen them? Mm-hmm. They staying here?
No, they're staying at the Safari Motel Inn. Safari Motel.
He does not. I'm sorry. Let's just give a little love to Brad Pitt. Oh my God. But I'm just saying, like, as a character actor, I think Brad Pitt kind of gets the shaft because he's so handsome.
Hot take. If you made a movie with that many big names, how big those names are now, there's no way you could have all these cameos.
But I think that'll be the fun of going back and seeing the films now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 26 years from now, who are we going to go back and go, oh, God.
We're going to be watching Ma and be like, you know what? Those kids in Ma, all Academy Award winners.
All of them.
And Crawl. You know, the alligator from Crawl really did
went on to a lot of things.
Wow, guys.
Went on to a lot of things. What is wrong with you that you haven't seen True Romance? Get out there and see it right now and then come back because we're going to spoil the end.
So I do have a couple of issues with the movie, I would say.
Okay.
One is there a very clear setup that Christian Slater's character in the movie is kind of a nerd when we meet him, right? He loves kung fu movies and he loves comic books. It says he stays up listening to music, reading comic books.
They gave him a lot of character in the setup, and then
that
it didn't
exactly pay off. Yeah,
Elvis hung around.
I wonder if there are moments that Tarantino lost, or in terms of the character, that had he been directing, we would have seen from Clarence. Maybe there's more to Clarence that we didn't get to see because things got cut.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big, thick situation anyway, and we do move through it so fast.
Right.
Like, for instance, the cut from inside the trailer with Dennis Hopper to the train tracks. I mean, that cut to me is kind of like, wait, whoa.
Eddie, I'm in big trouble. I really need your help.
No, stop talking.
There were a handful of scenes in this movie that, even if you're not in for like big thrillers, you have to see. You have to see Dennis Hopper and Christopher Walken squaring off like 2 cowboys.
Yeah.
Sicilians were spawned by. Come again?
Pretty amazing.
You know, when you talk about pace, I think one of the ways it does it, and we tend to think Tarantino very dialogue heavy, but every scene really did move the story forward.
So by the end, we have this really poignant moment with the most ridiculous shootout I've seen in a while. She thinks that he might be dead. And in the original scripted ending, Tarantino's ending, he is dead. Clarence dies, and she moves on. Tony Scott, director, didn't like that, and he changed it. They even shot both versions so that Quentin could see it. But
confession, I have never seen this movie, and I thought she was going to run off with the money, and I was like, good for you. You know what really sold Patricia Arquette's character for me? Was seeing with James Gandolfini.
Yeah.
What a scene!
You know, and I'm like, oh, I keep thinking like, oh, she's done. She's going to get her out.
She's
toast.
She's going
to be in the hospital. And then she kept battling back. And so at the end, when you think Christian Slater's dead, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I was actually fine with it. So like, yeah, it was a true romance. You know, Romeo and Juliet, they die in the end. That's fine. But I was going, you know what? She's going to make it out with that money. She's going to go back to Tallahassee. She's going to get an education. She's going to graduate. She's going to end up being a politician she's going to do some really good things.
Instead, she went to Cancun, where all the Tallahassee FSU girls go.
Yeah, spring break.
For spring break.
Yeah, very typical Tallahassee girl.
Some bitch was right. Tastes like a peach. Come on, Rommel. Come on, boy. Come on, come on, come on.
My feeling in sort of summation is that I thought that this movie had minimum 10 really awesome scenes in it. As soon as it was over and you start thinking about it, I'm like, wait a minute, why the heck did he have this weird voice in his head? Is he a psychotic? And I thought you could have made this a more streamlined love story.
I think what they did so well is create the love affair from the beginning, right? And at the end, you know, we start with Patricia Arquette's voiceover and we end with her voiceover. So ultimately, this is her experience.
Right.
Okay.
Right? Like, I get Christian loves her and da-da-da-da-da, but still, as far as the male perspective go, he talks about her as a peach and she's an object and all of this. But when you look at her looking at him, that is what sells it for me.
When did you first see it?
I probably first saw this movie when I was in high school. So like 96 or 97.
And did you think to yourself, I gotta get me a Christian Slater?
I loved Christian Slater, but not because of this film, more for Untamed Heart.
It's pretty hot in Robin Hood.
He was so hot in Untamed Heart, though.
Oh,
come on.
Check it out.
Yeah, we'll have to watch
But
that.
really, I mean...
Heating up.
I mean, I can't tell you how relieved I was when you took off your dress. You didn't have a...
Kirk Cameron was kind of my guy.
Kirk Cameron.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
Yeah. And first love, Axl Rose.
Oh,
Impatient.
wow.
Give the man a prize, all right.
Leather pants.
You know,
like...
I've often heard comparisons between Kirk Cameron and Axl Rose.
Basically what I'm saying is I don't have a type.
Please tell the people what they... I'm going to put a link in the description.
Okay. Most recent project, we just released a music video for the single Holy Water by the artist LYNN Madera. I'm very
Excellent.
happy.
Sweet.
Link below. Thank you so much for joining us, like I said, and we'll be checking back in again pretty soon. I know we had some time off, but we'll be making more of these, and we're hoping to look forward to some really good ones coming up. If you like what you see, please subscribe to everything else we do here on Handlebar TV, and until next time...
Catchphrase.
Handlebar.